top sales metrics you need to be tracking as an individual contributor or a sales leader.
All right, let's go ahead and jump right into my trusted, tried, and true sales metrics that I use as a chief revenue officer to both analyze the organization's sales health and also individual contributors. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Now, I'm going to walk you through this entire spreadsheet right now. It's my gift to you. If you would like a copy of it, it'll be in the comments section below, and I would absolutely love to hear your feedback on how it helps you, of course, increase sales and feel less stressed out about the metrics that you should be tracking. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so first of all, we have two different types of metrics that you need to track. So of course, one of them is for the sales leader and one of them is for the individual contributor or the sales rep, okay? So first of all, let's go ahead and go through the sales leadership stats because these are really important. We're gonna start here. So the first thing here is that you need to be tracking how many new qualified leads come into your pipeline every single month. Now, you also need to know that how many opportunities are created from the qualified leads. The reason why this is absolutely critical to your success is that leads mean nothing, even if they're qualified, if they never actually turn into opportunities. Now, after their opportunities and their sales qualified, now we need to move to book our meetings, of course. Now, most of these metrics are based on businesses that use sales calls, discovery calls, sales meetings in order to gain new clients. So this is really for you if that's your type of business, okay? So new meetings booked. You want to be tracking towards your progress, towards what you want, right? Hopefully you know how many calls you need per month and then your average conversion rate. And then clearly there you go. At the end are your clients. If you don't know these numbers, you need to sit down and start doing some number crunching using average statistics in your business in order to know what you need to do. If you're not there yet, that's okay, but let's just start tracking now so that you can do the math, okay? The next thing here is the opportunity conversion rate. That's when a new deal creation turns into a new sales conversion, a new client, right? The win rate is the percentage of sales calls closed. So if your win rate is 35% or 30% is a little easier, then it's a 1 out of 3 people that you are closing from sales calls, all right? The next thing here is deal loss reasons. This is huge, and I actually don't see very many organizations do a great job at documenting this. So I want to encourage everyone to take a minute and set these up. Deal loss reasons really help you. And the reason why that they help you is it helps you understand, do I need to change something in my marketing, my messaging? Do I need to coach my sales team or myself to navigate these types of reasons during my sales calls a little bit better? Like, what needs to change in the business? Is my product slightly off? How can I adjust in order, of course, to be successful? Track these reasons. And what I like to do is once a quarter, I'll go through and I'll look at all of the reasons and the percentages each of them were used and the reason that we lost. And I'll take a deep dive, not emotionally attached to it, in order to see what I can do to change it in the business, okay? And I gave a few examples here: price, competition, time, product service gap, poor follow-up, or other. Okay, but you can create your own. These are just some samples. Next thing to see as a sales leader is the average sales cycle. The reason why this is absolutely critical is you want to know the time between new qualified lead and that they become won or closed. Every business is different, and I can't tell you what it should be right now. What it should be is what you need to hit your numbers, and it's very specific to the type of business. So there are, for example, some coaching and consulting companies that run cold ads to webinars to book call to one call close. So that type of business, of course, is going to close in like a week or less, typically, or at least that's their goal. If you have a different type of client acquisition model, perhaps you run a Facebook group where you nurture and then convert, it might be a little bit longer. But start paying attention to these numbers because you'll be able to identify some opportunities where you can adjust your sales process or your marketing efforts in order to, of course, decrease the sales cycle. Now, as a chief revenue officer, I handle marketing and sales. I make sure that they're doing the right tango to support each other. So when I am sharing these numbers with you, if you are not head of marketing as well, and perhaps you're the chief sales officer, or perhaps you're the VP of sales and you don't have a huge amount of control over marketing, I would really encourage you to bring this up with your marketing team and see if you can collaborate, because one of the biggest things, the biggest challenges, the biggest letdowns that I see as businesses get bigger is that there's a disconnect between marketing and sales. So if you have the opportunity to make sure that doesn't happen, you're going to be way better off in the long term. Okay. Let's see here, average deal size. So depending on what you sell, maybe you sell one core product and it's the same deal every single time, or maybe you don't, but it is something that you want to look at if you have varying price points. The sales velocity is a step further than the average sales cycle time. And I actually gave you the calculation here inside the sales tracker. So that's really, really fun. And basically it's a fancy advanced metric expanding on the average sales cycle that allows you to even get closer to identifying anything that is like a bit of a fork in the road for you to be able to do this and to close faster. Okay. All right, so then we have our total pipeline value by stage. So I really like this, and the reason why is because it allows me to understand and to start forecasting. So actually very, very few companies do forecasting super well. So I'm going to help you there. Okay. Forecasting is really, really important because it allows you to, one, be less stressed out because you know what numbers you're going to hit. Two, it allows you to be excited about the numbers that you will hit, using averages for how likely they would be to convert from each category. And then it also alerts you if you have a problem. So a lot of businesses, for example, have like sluggish months, maybe your summer, right? So if you have a sluggish month, usually in July, for example, I would make sure that you're either making up for it somewhere else in your forecast or doing your best to like triple efforts or triple ad spend or do something in order to beat that sluggish month. And you won't know you need to do that unless you're forecasting. Now, these are just some common pipeline stages that I put here, but they're really going to differ depending on your business. So prospecting, lead qualification, demo meeting, discovery call, proposal, negotiation, commitment, opportunity one, and post-purchase. So now, of course, you don't need to know post-purchase value by stage unless you have something that you are going to sell afterwards. So like an upgrade, okay? All right, so these are your stats. And the second tab here, if you end up grabbing this from us, is allows you to track it over a period of time so that you can see your progress. And then if this is the first time you're doing something like this, you have a baseline to go off of, and you can rinse and repeat every single month. All right. So here are some individual stats. Now, I built these individual stats around the type of salesperson that is super active on social media and using social selling as a avenue in order to book calls and make sales. So if that's not how your business is built, that's okay. You can still take away what you can from this tracker. But also, if you don't have your sales team with a social presence, I really, really encourage you to do so. Or if you're the business owner doing all of the sales still, like social media presence is amazing. It helps you boost your authority, accelerate the amount of time it takes for someone to trust your brand. And it really allows you to connect with your prospects in a super unique way that you're not going to be able to achieve really in any other manner. Now, I'm not telling you to go obsess over social media, spend all of your life there and all the things, but it is a really great tool that I recommend almost every single business use. I haven't come across a business that wouldn't benefit from it. Okay. All right, so outreach messages. This means like how many outreach messages did you make on social media through DM, Messenger? You can also count this for emails or customized texts or phone calls that you're making. How many sales conversations did you start? How many sales did you make? Some of my clients make sales straight up in the DM. This absolutely happens. I usually see the highest success rate with like under $200 per month purchase. But honestly, I've seen high tickets sold in the DM too. So it's all possible. It really just depends on your brand authority and how much time you spend working these methods and like understanding what's going to get you the most sales possible. Okay. The next thing is how many discovery calls have you completed and how many sales did you make from them? So there are some overlap numbers here from the sales leadership stat tracker to this one as well, but it's just at a micro level for the individual to use. Okay. And then we're going to calculate the outreach response rate. So this is really good because if you make 100 dials or you do 100 reach outs and you're not getting anything back, like you're either going after the wrong people or saying the wrong thing. So we want to know what that conversion rate is. And then of course your win rate or your close rate from the calls that you take. And you'll notice over here on this next tab here, I've already created everything you need to track it month after month so that you can see and progress in your sales skills. And what's really amazing about this, friends, is that what you track grows. Let me say that again. What you track grows. So if you don't track things, you don't know what to fix, you don't know what to improve on, and it really hurts your mind when it comes to your brain trying to make the decision of what to focus on, what's important, how will I see success. So it's absolutely critical that you do these things in your business or as, of course, an individual contributor and a sales professional. So I hope that this really helped you understand what metrics are most important to track so that you can see the sales growth that you want. I would love to know in the comment section below which one of these trackers or stats that you're most excited to really dig into and start to use in your business. Now, if you like this video and want to see more, make sure that you like, subscribe so that you catch the next thing that's coming down the road for Ask a CRO. See you next time.